Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Manifest Tarot. I'm so happy you're here. In today's reading, I am doing a reading with two piles, and this one is ocean water, and this one is fresh water. I am looking at these two different aspects of water in our world. And I chose three words to go with each pile, three concepts, to go with each pile. This first one, I'm going to talk about this one first. This is ocean. So this is first of all, this is the stone. I found this at the ocean. Such a pretty rock. And the three words I chose for this concept of ocean is buoyant, because of course ocean water, salt water, has a lot of salts dissolved in it, so it is more dense than fresh water, so you can float. Everything floats better in, I think everything that I know of floats better in salt water. So you, as a human, if you were to go swimming or floating in salt water, you would float more readily than you would in fresh water. The second word is turbulent, because of course the tides, the turbulence, the currents, so turbulent. And the third is salty. So of course that's pretty self-explanatory. So let's go with the freshwater pile. So this is the beautiful stone for the freshwater. And then the three concepts or words I chose for freshwater are stable, because it's kind of funny. Okay, so stable is the first concept I wanted to share with that, because of course, if you have the ocean and a lake, and they're both on an extremely calm day, no wind, no, everything is there's no one on either, there's no boats on either surface. The ocean is always going to be turbulent, has tides and currents. And of course a lake, even if it has currents underneath, a lake or a pond or even a puddle, it's smooth surface. So in that way it's stable. But the second word and concept I chose for the freshwater is mobile, because it's kind of a contradiction to stable, but in the way that, first of all, freshwater can move. It moves down in streams, and it comes up in springs out of the earth. And also, water is the only substance that exists in all three forms in normal earth temperatures. So it will evaporate. Of course, salt water evaporates also, but when water evaporates, all of those salts are left behind. So it's only, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's only fresh water that evaporates. And then it will come down as rain. It will also freeze. So it is very mobile in that way. It goes through its whole cycle here. And also, as I said, streams, springs, it is mobile in a way that the ocean never is. The ocean can only go where the ocean goes. Of course, it can flood, but it goes back down. It's more constrained in that way. And the third concept word is universal, because freshwater and salt, once fresh water is used this way, it might become salt water, but freshwater, water in general, is a universal solvent. So the concept I chose for the third, freshwater, is universal. It is the universal solvent. It is the substance that can dissolve the most substances that we know of. So that's why water is called the universal solvent. So with these piles, I've already chosen these two cards. So for pile number 1, which is ocean, this is card number 7, to the sea. Look at how cute this is. Look at how cute this little boat is. She's got binoculars and a compass. So cute. So this is card for pile number 1. For pile number 2, it's yin, card number 2. And such a beautiful flowy card with this presumably fresh water in this bowl. All right, so pick whichever pile speaks to you, or both piles. So quickly, one more time, this is ocean. The 3 words are buoyant, turbulent, and salty. And on this card is fresh water, and the 3 words are stable, mobile, and universal. And I will leave the timestamps in the description box, and I'll see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful card, to the sea. This is card number 7. And I love the bubbles. The bubbles on this card are funny. And also, I should say, you chose this rock that I found at the ocean. And I have another oracle deck I'm going to pick 1 or 2 cards from. There's this one. And then we have 3 tarot card decks. So I'm going to pick some from this pile, or deck, I should say. They're really, there we go. There's this one. There's that. And I'm going to pick a few from this one. And I'm going to pick some from this one. Oops. There's this and this. Actually, this one wanted to come out too. Here we go. All right, look at all these for us. So I'll read again from my little note here. I didn't want to forget anything, so I wrote a note with my 3 words. So I'm going to say them again before we reveal the cards. It is, this is ocean. So it is buoyant, turbulent, and salty. So let's see what we have. 51, to the moon and back. That's so neat because, of course, what is that major force on our oceans is the moon. I'm going to put that right next to this. This is the force and what that force is acting upon. And 18, treasured memories. What a beautiful card. Looks like the cloud is captured within the balloon. So pretty. I'll put that right here. I'll put that right here for now. All right, and now let's get to the tarot cards. Ooh, the Three of Cups. I love this card. This is such a cool card. Friendship, good times. Everybody's having a great time. It's kind of funny though, because these look like strawberries, and these, which are, you know, spring and summer. Not spring, well, spring maybe in really sunny areas, but summer. And then there's grapes and pumpkins, gourds, whatever, that are harvested more in the fall, which is kind of funny. So they're doing some magic here to make everything fruit at once. So anyway, there's that. What else do we have? Oh, the Eight of Pentacles. There's some work going on here. There's some work and some pleasure in your work. There's some it's like, well, how can I say? It is, you've done all this work. This is how I want to say it. You've done all this work and you're so happy with yourself that you put in all of this time and this effort, and your work is finished and you have this beautiful product. Now, I love his shoes, by the way. Who can argue with someone who's wearing orange hose or leggings and red shoes? Now that's awesome. All right, let's see. This one is the World card. Yay, you got the World card. This is really three really beautiful cards here for you, pile number one. What else do you have? The Star card. Wow. And look at that, she's in the water. This is probably fresh water though. So this is you. This is you. This is your thoughts and your manifestations. You're feeding your thoughts to yourself. You're feeding yourself the thoughts that you want and the intentions that you want. And you're also feeding the world with the intentions that you want. All right, I think this, no, yeah, this is the last card from this deck. The Death card. Wow. Look at this change coming. There's something that's riding through inexorably through your life. And from all of these other cards, it's something good. Even if it looks scary. That's a thing, pile number one. Even if, or I should say, ocean pile. Even if it looks, things look scary at first, even inevitable, they're going to end up being wonderful. That's what this is saying to me. All right, now we have a couple cards from this deck. The Three of Wands. It looks like, let me see. I'm going to hold my judgment here. This is all very clear here, except up until this last card, it's very clear what's happening. And then now this has changed something somewhat, although, so let's see. Let me just see here. So we have the Page of Swords. Look at this. Looks like things are turbulent in her world. And this is where this turbulence comes from. All right, this is the first card of this deck. Ooh, the Chariot. It's kind of going with this energy, the Chariot. The Nine of Pentacles. Wow. This is a wish fulfillment card. Look at all those very happy crows or ravens. They kind of look like ravens to me. I think their bills look different, and those look like ravens to me, but I'm not exactly sure. So let's see. This one is the Seven of Pentacles. So you have the 7 and the 8 of Pentacles. This is you. Well, you've done. This is you've done your work. You've planted, and now you're watching them grow, and you're manifesting. Look, it's like manifesting the growth of this plant. But then now you have more work. So you did all the work of planting, but now you have to care for these plants. And then now here, that's the fruit of your labors. All right, so there's this. We have 2 more cards. The 8 of Cups. Very interesting. And then, ooh. The 3 of Swords. Wow. Very interesting. This is such an interesting reading. There is some turbulence here. There is some saltiness here. There's a lot of movement. Of course, the Chariot, that has its inherent movement, right? And there's a lot of your will here, your desire to not just survive, to drive forward. So this 8 of Cups, there's something, okay. I was thinking that this is why sometimes I feel like sometimes some readings come out very in an orderly fashion. You know, it's like it tells a story. But this one, these cards, especially these first 4 cards, tell a story that this stuff is, you know, a lot of this stuff is heading toward. So I thought this was pretty much what's going on right now, but this is clearly this stuff, most of this stuff, a lot of this stuff that's working here is going toward this for you. So with this Treasured Memories card, it's kind of, there's a lot of, not a lot, I shouldn't say a lot, I don't know if it's a lot, but there is some kind of looking back with regret for you. Looking back, trying to second guess what you did, kind of trying to, that's the thing, trying to, we're more apt to see this in things other than ourselves. You know that, I don't use many sports analogies, but you know that Monday morning quarterbacking, which is, I think that's what it is. I think it's Monday. But anyway, so, you know, someone would watch a football game on the weekend, and then once they've seen the whole thing, once they know how it ends, then they discuss it on Monday, saying, I would have done XYZ. Well, they never would have done. No one ever would have done XYZ unless they knew the final outcome. So once you know the final outcome, then you look back and you say, oh, this and that should have happened. Well, it seems to me like we are more apt to see that kind of the impossibility of it in others or about other things other than ourselves. And we often berate ourselves for things that we didn't know before we knew. Like, so if you're a conscious manifester, you didn't come out of the womb as a conscious manifester, right? Maybe an unconscious, well, maybe an unconscious conscious manifester. Maybe you were doing it without knowing. I mean, we all are manifesting our realities, but consciously manifesting, most of us learn it. So to look at what you were doing before you knew this knowledge is not fair to yourself, and it's very counterproductive if you're thinking about it with a I'm going to blame myself kind of attitude. So looking back as you go forward sometimes is not helpful if you don't want to, if your goal or, whatever, if you're berating yourself. And of course, we see that this is the ocean. This is very turbulent down there. There's some turbulence. And part of this ocean, you can see right here, is trying to follow her. And these 8 flaming cups, we are not sure. She's doing something consciously to these flaming cups, but is she drawing up the flame, or is she putting it down? Is she dampening it down? We don't know. It looks like it's being drawn up, like she's drawing up her power. But this ocean is coming up kind of unbidden. And the fish, they're going for a ride. Very interesting card. But anyway, my point is to look at what you have done in the past with an eye to berate yourself. That can lead to what's right next to it, which is this pain. It's impossible to look at what you have done with that feeling of I should have done better without feeling this. It's impossible. It's impossible to not feel this heartache if you're holding yourself up to an impossible standard. Now, if you are feeling a lot of this pain, if you're a person who is looking back with a bunch of regret, you can revise your past. And if you're not as familiar with this, this is something that is not really talked about so much. But revising your past, I'm not going to hold this up because it doesn't have much to do with revision. If you're revising your past, you can revise something even in your mind. So if you want to revise something bad that happened to you, you can reimagine the scene completely differently, or even just one thing differently, one little thing differently, and it sounds funny, but it really does work. I have found it to really work. I've told this story in the past on a different in a different reading, but a couple months ago I saw an accident in the I don't even want to talk about the details because I saw an accident in the on the highway with an animal, and it was a horrifying thing to see, but I revised it in my, and now my visual is of the revision, not of what really happened. And really happened, now what really happened for me is a visual that I pasted over by thinking of it, and my mind kept on returning back to the original, to the accident, and I kept on being bothered by it. It was very, I just did not want to think about it anymore. So I just decided on a visual to replace it with a stuffed animal. And I just kept playing that and playing that and playing that. Now my mind goes to the stuffed animal visual. And that's revision. I mean, that's a very simple revision, not a huge, not a huge thing that is a very big scene, but that is an example of revision. So I think that these two cards came out for us to see this. And this is very turbulent. This is going right to our ocean thing of turbulence. It's these memories in your mind. They're very turbulent. They're very... they're affecting you a lot. And it's not like they're affecting you all the time. I don't think they're affecting you all the time, but when they're affecting you, you feel this terrible pain. Look at his, I have to say, look at his pants. His pants are very, very nice. I wonder if this leg is all striped and this leg is all these diamonds, or if the inner part of this pant leg is stripes and vice versa. But anyway, these characters in this reading, they're very fashion forward. So look, he's telling us the same story. This figure is experiencing this pain, but he's already reaching toward this hope. He's over feeling this pain. He's reaching toward this hope, this light, this life. He doesn't want this anymore. He's actively reaching toward that, and that's what you can do. You can actively reach toward what you want. And that is revision. If revision works for you, it's a great tool. It's a great tool to have. Don't Monday morning quarterback your life, especially your life before you knew about conscious manifestation. So what else do we have? So again, I already talked about this a little bit, but I thought that this was your present moment, but now we're working up, we're rising up, kind of like a flood. We're rising up in this reading up to this. So this Seven of Pentacles, this might be where you're at now with something big. You're already at 7. We've already done Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're at 7. You have worked so hard. You've planted. You got the seeds, or the pentacles. You've planted them. You nourished the soil. You watered the soil with no evidence that they were growing. You nourished the soil. You watered the soil. You guarded it against weeds, against bugs, against everything. You kept on doing what you needed to do with zero evidence that it was working. And slowly, pentacles are sometimes slow to germinate. Did you know that? So look at how strong the roots are of these plants. You did that. You nourished the soil, and look at all of this. So this is just one row, but look at all these other pentacle plants you've grown, and they're all starting to sprout up. You did that. You did that ocean pile. You are pile number 1, but you're really this ocean pile. These are your influences here. The ocean and the moon, these are your influences, very working on everything. There's this cycle that you're going through. I don't know what exactly is going on, but it seems very much your abundance that is on your mind. Because the wish fulfillment card that you got is the 9 of Pentacles, which is an abundance thing. So there's something on your mind really about abundance. There's something that you are manifesting that's very abundance-minded. So what else do we have? We have the Chariot. The Chariot's really like this focus going out to the third row. So what do we have here? We have this 3 of Wands, and we have this very interesting. So we have a 3 of Wands. Looking forward, I mean, this is you planning. I should have talked about this a little bit before the 7 of Pentacles, because in my opinion, the 7 of Pentacles is like really going up into this upper plane here very directly. But this 3 of, well, they all are. This 3 of Wands is really your focus on your future. You're very future-minded right now. You're very, like, near future, like your success. You're really concentrating on the success that you are envisioning for yourself. And you've been working so hard at it. Your Chariot, so your Chariot is your personification. This is showing your tremendous willpower and your tremendous focus in all of your work on getting what you want. And we're really starting almost at the end here with your reading, which seems interesting. We don't have some huge journey that you're going through. We're starting kind of almost, we're starting when you've already got a lot of success here already. Do you see that? This is really where you are right now. Things are already really happening for you. But your goals are even bigger than what you already have accomplished. Your goals are this 9 of Pentacles. Your goals are surging forward. And you are very driven. You're very driven. You're very, there's a word I'm looking for. Not just competent. You're very, like, you're just so energetic and so focused, and you're so you're just like, you're so there's a word I'm looking for. Pile number 1. You're so determined, you're so driven that you're almost inexorable. That is really shown in this top row here. So the Page of Swords, you've got a lot of upward energy here. You've got a lot of mental focus on your goal here. This seems like, so if this were the Ace of Swords, it would be this fresh start with your focus, your intellectual prowess, right? But we're at this Page of Swords. You are really, you've honed in on what you want. You've focused on what you want. You've honed in on what you want. And now it's this final push. You're gathering up everything. This Nine of Pentacles, I'm going to move this Nine of Pentacles for a moment. This Nine of Pentacles, I'm going to move up here. You've got this lower layer of this, you know, judging yourself for things before you knew what you know now. We've already accomplished, or we've already touched on that. So now you've got all of this experience, all of this focus, all of this determination, all of this work, and you're doing this like final surge. And what do we have up here? We have the Three of Cups, which is great times, celebrating your success, celebrating your friendships, celebrating your harvest, celebrating your harvest. And we have this Eight of Pentacles, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Next step, where you have harvested these pentacles. You've harvested the pentacles, and you are now reaping that wonderful harvest that you have worked so hard with. It's really lovely. The Eight of Pentacles, of course, is right before the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is enjoying the fruits of your labor, which is growing, grown, sold, and enjoying the profits. That's what growing, harvested, that's what I should have said. Growing your crop, harvesting your crop, enjoying the profits that you got from harvesting the crop. That's what this little journey is. So we have the World, which is just everything wonderful. You've accomplished everything that you wanted, but now there's a new goal that you're going to have. If you accomplish everything you want, then you're always going to have a new goal. That's just how humans are. We always want something else. We're always like, okay, next step, next step, next step, right? The Star card, this beautiful Star card is you feeding yourself. I feel like you used to be pile number one, an ocean pile. You used to be the person that had both hands with a pitcher, but you were just dumping out onto the earth. You're dumping your water onto the earth, not taking care of yourself. But this beautiful Star card is telling you to use one hand's pitcher to focus on how you're interacting with the world, with the 3D, or changing it, or however you want to say. That wasn't exactly what I meant. Like pouring your intentions on what you want to happen in your 3D, like you're manifesting your intentions, but having your other arm's pitcher taking care of yourself, your self-concept, your nourishment of yourself, because that becomes what you put out there. That becomes your thoughts about yourself, your thoughts about what you can achieve become what is manifested out in the 3D. So this is such a beautiful thing that you've accomplished within yourself. A lot of this stuff is all concerned with the 3D, especially these pentacles, the chariot, the Three of Wands, the Page of Wands, Page of Swords, the World card, even the Death card, which we're going to get to in a moment. But you've also done this work. You might be in the middle of doing this work, honestly. You've done this work. You might be having to do this work before you can get to this step. Now, let us look at this Death card. As I said, there seems like there's something soon to be coming through for you, through your will, through your determination, through all of the work you've already done, all this fabulous work. So what do we see up here? It's like all of this wonderful stuff in this Death card. So there's just something so inexorable about this that is, you have so much so directly comparable to this ocean, to this force, to this time after time, just doing the same thing out and in, the tide, the inexorableness of it. The Chariot is one. This inexorable work, like day after day, doing the same thing and getting so much progress. But then there's the inexorableness, the inevitableness of this Death card, which is marching through what you have accomplished. It's just inevitably coming. And what is this? What does this really mean for you? I'm not sure in what way it's going to come here, but it's definitely coming through, and it might be it might be affecting the world at large. It might be affecting you directly, and it might seem terrible. But what's so funny about this Death card is this giant sun is out. And the Sun card in the tarot deck is just like lovely, beautiful things, warmth and sunlight, and being just filled with this joy, abandoning your fear and just living in this joyful moment. But this Death card is saying that there is something that's in your world, in your 3D, I should say, that seems inevitable, and it is inevitable. It's just going to come in, it's going to come through. But look what it's surrounded by. It's insane, all of this stuff that you're surrounded by. 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. The wish fulfillment. This came up down here, but the 9 of Pentacles is coming, is for after the 8, 7, 8, 9. And we have it surrounded by the 8 of Pentacles, the World, the Star card, and then, this 9 of Pentacles, which is for after the 7 and 8. So I guess what this is saying is, it does not matter what happens in the 3D. The 3D is going to 3D. The 3D is going to 3D. The 3D might bring up something that you were manifesting maybe unconsciously before you knew about conscious manifestation and before you fully realized the ramifications. This final outputting of your former manifestations is going to ride through your life, and you just let it go. You just let it ride through. And then what happens when you let this ride through? What are you left with? You're left with the 3 of Cups, beautiful, wonderful celebration of your harvest. You're left with your harvest that you have worked so hard for. You're left with the World, which is everything you want, like just the culmination of everything. You're left with the Star card, which is you expertly manifesting your 3D world through the manifestation of self. And you're left with the 9 of Pentacles, which is enjoying the harvest, the fruits of not the fruits. This is enjoying the fruits of the harvest. This is enjoying the profits off of that. This is having those pentacles and letting those pentacles work for you and enjoying your life, being happy in your life. So this is an amazing reading, and there's an inevitability to it, both from inside you and outside of you. There's an inevitability. Well, I mean, nothing is really outside of you, but you know what I mean, like your human self. And this force of the sea and the moon together, you know, day after day, the tides come in and out, and that's inexorable. You are this driving force that's doing this. And just one last reminder that you can look back and be gentle with yourself. Don't feel like you should have been perfect. Don't feel like you should have been perfect. Look at the difference. Look at the difference between this. They both have little hearts here. I don't know why. That's so funny. I just imagine this as, a heart where, what we can't see is heart-shaped. I don't know why. That's kind of funny. But they both are looking back, and he is in pain because he's seeing what he should have done. And she's looking back with pleasure because she's seeing the treasured memories, not the painful ones. You can do that. And if you can't, you can revise it. So this is your beautiful reading, pile number 1, or ocean pile, however you want to think of yourself. This is a fabulous reading, such a story. I'm so impressed with you. I can't believe how much work you've already done, how much you've already accomplished, and that you are just as inexorable as this death card. I don't know why I didn't see this before. I was thinking of you as separately inexorable, but you can also think of yourself. If something coming through, marching through, this old manifestation that's marching through, you let it go, but you can think of yourself as just as inexorable, and your accomplishment is also just as inexorable. So there you are. Thank you so much for being here with me, for sharing this time. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. Your likes, your comments, your shares are always so welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future readings. I know I'm going to see you very soon. Bye. Hey, pile number 2, or freshwater pile, however you want to think of yourself. You chose card number 2 for pile number 2, yin, with the fresh water, but we're assuming it's fresh water. Well, I'm just going to call it fresh water bubbling up out of this fountain. And this beautiful rock. This is so peaceful looking. Look at how peaceful this looks right here. So I have another oracle deck. I'm going to pull 2 cards from it. I think it's this one. There's that. And I'm going to pull some cards from this deck. I've got 3 piles, 3 decks. So this. that. And we have this deck. I'm going to pull a couple cards from that one. Oop, there we go. And then some cards from this deck. This one. All right, look at all these cards. All right, so this is your first oracle card. Sea Witch. Oh my gosh, so funny that we got this card. Very watery. Look at her tentacle hair and her fan. I'm taking this that she has this fan for her propulsion, as well as her little movement. I don't know, there has to be a name for the movement that jellyfish or whatever move with. I'm gonna have to look that up. And we have the perfect key. How cute. Are there a lot of matters of the heart that we're going to see in this reading? Pile number 1, the ocean had a lot of abundance in it. Look at how peaceful all of your oracle cards look. Very interesting. All right, so let's see. Your first card is the 5 of Pentacles. Very interesting. See, I started reading pile number 1's cards before I had them all out, and I ended up changing my mind about something, so let's not do that. We have the Magician. Wow. Manifestor card. The Magician is the master manifester. The Hermit. I'm going to resist doing any reading about this. Ooh, the 3 of Pentacles. And we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles again, 2 times, right, one right after the other. The Queen of Wands. Right underneath the Magician, how appropriate. And then we have the 2 of Cups, the love card, the romantic love card. Look at all this. The 5 of Swords. Wow. The Emperor. Look at how majestic this looks. It looks like a mechanical device to allow him to fly. Very, very, very interesting. And the Page of Pentacles. No way. You got all 3 decks. You got the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. I don't think I've ever seen that before. What is going on with you in this Page of Pentacles? This is so amazing. Well, the center of your the center of your reading is these 3 Page of Pentacles. So interesting. And what's so weird is that, okay, so this deck, it was the final card. This deck, it came out right after. This deck only had 2 cards, and it came out right after this first one. This deck, it was also the final card. I don't know. It's just, all right, so there's 2 5s. There's 2 5s. There's a lot you can see. You can see just by the artwork, there's a lot of poverty of spirit in this this number, these 5s. There's poverty of spirit here, and there's poverty of spirit here. And so I pointed this out the last time this came up. This is so interesting. Somebody pointed out, I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody pointed out that there is, and this is true of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck as well, there's snow falling everywhere, but not in front of the 5 of Pentacles on the window, not in front of the stained glass window, basically. It does not have any snow falling in front of it. Very interesting. So it, to me, just doing this, just looking at this and interpreting it with that no snow in front of the Pentacles thing, is that if we just looked at this, without seeing the, oh my gosh, can I even, wait, I want to do this. So if we just looked at this, oh my gosh. If we just looked at this, it would be pretty. Like, oh, look how, ooh, look how pretty the stained glass window and the snow falling is very peaceful. It's very joyful. Look at how beautiful that is. But then we see, oops, then we see all of this poverty and hardships, and just being really sad and feeling hopeless. It's this hopelessness that gets us, right? And she's working. She's still going for it. She's still working, even though she's freezing, even though her feet are almost bare and she's having to walk in the snow. She's still doing something. They look like they've just given up. They've actually let the snow fall on them so much that they have snow, you know, their snow is piling up on them. They've given up. They're so done. This is, you're feeling, I don't know what you're feeling about this, but this is obscuring, this snow is showing the obscuring of your ability to see the truth. And the truth is just this. Just this. That's your truth. But you're seeing this huge thing of untruth, is what I should say. I also forgot here, then there's this 5 of Pentacles, which is, you know, your abundance. It's interesting because you have pile number 1, the ocean pile, was very much abundance. Yours is abundance and love. So what do we have here is this 5 of Swords. This 5 of Swords is showing this character took all the swords. This character took everything of what the swords are standing in for, you know, anything. You can put anything here. This one character took everything. These 2 characters have to go off into the monochrome world alone with little ragged clothing, and they're sad because this character took everything. But they're also together. They're also able to go away and find someplace better. This character has all the swords, and this character gets to stay in the colorized world. But this character is alone, and this character is also holding on to the swords by the blade, which is, I do not approve. This is not me approved pile number 2. Don't do this. But there's this all or nothing mindset. So number 1, there's this poverty mindset. Number 2, there's this all or nothing, win 100% or lose 100% mindset. And these two mindsets are holding you back. If you ever have these, they're holding you back. So this came out first. So this is like, we really needed to talk about this first because this is very prominent and immediate. So I forgot to say your 3 words are for freshwater are stable, mobile, and universal. So this stability here that's shown by your oracle cards and your stone and this right here, this is wanting to replace this. This is your instability. This is not your natural state. This is something you have maybe learned, maybe feel like you have to be like that. That's not your natural state. And this unnaturalness is affecting you greatly because since it's not your natural state, you're even more resistant to it, even though you're doing it, if you understand what I'm saying. And this Hermit card, this could be you, pile number 2, freshwater pile. But it also could be a teacher. Is there somebody who's teaching you something that is shining light on something that you haven't been able to see for yourself? It's very clear that there's some learning that has to go on. There's some light that needs to be shed, and you have to see more clearly. Pile number 2. So I guess seek for guidance or create your own guidance, if that makes sense. So the biggest thing after these 5 of swords here, the biggest thing, 5 of swords, I'm sorry, there's the fives, the 5 of swords and the 5 of pentacles. Of course, the star of the show is your 3 pages of pentacles. So what do we have? We have you trusting in how can I say this best? You trusting the process, you trusting yourself, you trusting that you are the universality of your world, that you, it's kind of funny that I used universe and world in the same sentence. You trusting that you are the universal solvent of your world, if that makes sense. You are the universal cause of your world, but you don't have to hold on to it so hard. You don't have to hold on to the sharp blades of the sword. You don't have to have this poverty mindset and keep going when you're tired. You don't have to struggle and be barefoot in the snow. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just trust the process. You can just be easy in the process. You can feel good about what you have done and what you are doing. You see this? 3 of Pentacles. This is you at the end of the day. going home saying, I did good work today. I did good work today, and I'm going home, and I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to enjoy myself. And not tiring yourself out and becoming so tired that you're unable to progress. I feel like you forcing yourself, being hard on yourself, has kept you stuck at some point. Pile number 2. So these 3 pages of Pentacles are urging you to trust the process, to enjoy yourself. Look at how enjoyable this looks. Writing your little scripting. He's scripting. He's writing down what he wants to happen, and he's enjoying it. He's not treating it like averting disaster. He's not treating it like he's averting disaster by doing this. He's treating it like he's welcoming something wonderful. There's a total difference. When you're manifesting, are you manifesting as if you are inviting wonderful things into your life? Or are you manifesting like you are avoiding terrible things in your life? There's a difference that's fundamental, and that I think that this is your main message today. This is a wonderful manifestation card. So you got the Magician and the Queen of Wands right underneath and over each other. You have a bunch of manifesting power. This is like you. This is your manifestation column. The column of manifestation right here, right? So what's the message? Is that things can be enjoyable as you're manifesting. Things can be very enjoyable. Things can be wonderfully enjoyable. Things can be so enjoyable that you can't even imagine you can't even imagine when you are in this mindset. You can't even imagine how enjoyable it is to manifest. You feel like manifesting is just averting disaster. But manifesting is creating lovely things. There's such a big difference between those two. And this freshwater, this yin energy, this stability, being mobile but being stable and being universal, is this beautiful, calm energy that you're being shown you can have. And this Emperor, this Emperor is kind of giving me Hierophant vibes here right now. It's very stable. Look at all 4 of his hooves are on this very stable ground. It looks like he's on top of this globe almost. I don't know what he's on top of. Anyway, he's super stable. He's got this mechanical thing that allows him to fly. That's pretty crazy. I want that. He's very stable, and he knows that he's able to rule from this stable base. He's able to rule his life from this stable base. This is what you, pile number 2, are being called to create. And this is a very much of a mind thing first. Of course, everything in manifestation is a mind thing first, like mind, like thoughts, creation. It's creating it in your mind. So we have a lot of abundance stuff going on with all of these pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Lots of stuff on your mind about abundance. But then what do we have here? Right in the middle of this, all about manifestation, all about abundance, all about stability, being, like finding a teacher, finding this, finding that. There's like blam right in the middle. There's the romantic love card. And so what happens with this romantic love card right in the center is that you are very concerned with your stability, your monetary abundance. I don't even know how to say it. Like everything about your life seems to be, almost everything about your life seems to be about abundance. But in that, you are so also concerned about love. It seems like that is your number one goal, but it's singular. Everything else is about trying to reach some sort of stability, trying to reach some sort of state of abundance, trying to reach some sort of state of manifesting power. But you're like strangling it. But without that energy, look at how calm everything else is. If you remove that energy of those 5s that you're injecting into your reading, look at how calm everything is. It's very different without those 2 cards, without that mindset. So let's look at your oracle cards. We have this yin card, which we saw at first, which you chose, very peaceful. And the peace of this is not only what you're seeking, it's what you're finding. You're finding that, and that is going to replace this 5's energy. And then we have this sea witch. She's caught mid in this like moment, right? She's caught in this moment, but she's not immobile. She is mobile, and that's one of your 3 words. You have stable, mobile, and universal. She is caught just in this artwork, in this state, in this one moment, but she is the epitome of mobile. She's going up in that motion, that octopus and jellyfish, those kind of things, going up, using that pumping action to navigate the water. And she also has this little fan thing. It's caught stationary, but it is spinning around, helping her go. And she has this fish that's also flapping its little fins, and everything's in movement. But you know how languid and beautiful things look under the water, right? So that's what you are being urged to do. That's what you are being urged to emulate, pile number 2. Forward movement, but more languidly, not forward movement in a struggle way. Don't voluntarily board the struggle bus, pile number 2. Don't voluntarily hold the swords by the blade. There's perfectly good handles right there. Be the magician and the Queen of Wands. Be the master manifester that I know and you know that you can be. Because you're not just manifesting good things. You're manifesting everything in your world, good and bad. So you are already a master manifester. You want to be a master conscious manifester. You want to be a master at manifesting the good things. And just taking a step back and emulating the Sea Witch, emulating this Page of Pentacles energy, is going to bring all of the abundance and all of the love that you want into your life, and it's going to feel effortless. And that is your perfect key. Look at how peaceful she looks. She doesn't look worried. There's all of these things. Okay, so this heart is locked, and she's got all of these keys, and this bird has the key ring, and it might fly away at any moment, but she's not worried. She's fine. She's trusting the process, and she knows she's unlocking this heart any moment. This is another beautiful and lovely and such meaningful reading. And don't forget, this love card, this romantic love card, is front and center. And it's elegant in its singleness. Not singleness as in like being single. It's elegant in its solitariness, that it's very pure, like fresh water. It's very pure. It's very how should I say, single-minded. You're very single-minded about your love, your romantic love manifestations. Unlike this abundance manifesting is very noisy for you, but your love manifestation seems very pure right now. But not for some of you. Oh my gosh, I understand now. For some of you, you feel like you have some Five of Swords energy in your relationship. I don't know why I didn't see this before. You were feeling this way about your relationship, or maybe you still are. Maybe there's some lingering stuff in here where you felt like you had to have all, like, win at all costs. It was like you had to hold on to something, like maybe your pride, or something where you felt like it was, there's only one way to happen, or, you know, love isn't really love. Love is a fight. Like there always has to be conflict in love. There always has to be, you always have to win at love. You always have, and you know, or you're gonna lose. There is something that some of you have been feeling about love that is very much this energy. And this is the energy that needs to replace it, or maybe you already have replaced it. But look at the difference. You can just look at these and tell the mindset that is winning. This is not the mindset that is winning. The mindset that, I don't even want to say some of them, but I'm going to just say a few that you might have thought that might be, that you might have to replace. You might have thought that love is hard for you, or that love is hard in general. You might have thought that love is, you're either winning against your significant other, your specific person, or you're losing. You might have thought that being alone is better, less painful for you than being with someone. Those things, if you have those thoughts, those are the thoughts that need to be replaced by the opposite. What you do want. You don't want for love to be difficult. That's just not something that, that's just not something that you want, right? So, yeah. For some of you, this might just be about your abundance, and then your love, you're like really single-minded about your love life. But for some of you, this Five of Swords goes for your romantic love aspect, in that energy of being alone and being right about it, being right that you are always alone, or some of those terrible thoughts that just need to be replaced in your mind with the opposite. So yes, pile number 2, this is your the freshwater pile. This is your beautiful reading. Just channel this, and this will be your little mascot for the week, for the month, for the year, for however long you need it to be. So thank you so much, pile number 2, freshwater pile, for joining me for this reading. It was so meaningful and beautiful. Thank you for all your likes, your shares, and your comments. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and you will not miss any future readings. Thank you. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.